100.5 FM Abuja. Hello and welcome to the news desk. I am Chukwuyenum Onwuka. First, the headlines. Nigeria to roll out new long-acting HIV prevention injection to curb infections, improve treatment outcomes. Federal government apologizes to Nigerians over power outages, promises improvement in the coming days. Ghana pushes UN resolution to recognize slave trade as crime against humanity. Iran says the United States is negotiating with itself amid rising tensions. Details shortly.
As the news drops, it breaks with us. Join us for news on the hour every hour. News desk at 12 noon, Metro News at 4 p.m. Enjoy infotainment, breaking and sports news at their best 24/7.
This is Ray Power FM News.
And now the news in detail. Nigeria is set to take a major step in the fight against HIV/AIDS as the federal government announces plans to roll out a new long-acting prevention injection aimed at reducing new infections and improving treatment outcomes.
The drug known as lenacapavir is a breakthrough in HIV prevention. Unlike existing daily oral medications, it is administered just once every 6 months, offering a more convenient option, especially for high-risk populations who struggle with adherence. Speaking in Abuja, the Minister of State for Health and Social Welfare, Isaac Salako, said the initiative reflects Nigeria's commitment to ending HIV/AIDS as public health threat by the year 2030. According to him, the government remains committed to a comprehensive approach that prioritizes prevention, treatment, and care services across the country. Nigeria has been selected by the Global Fund as one of the 9 early adopter countries for the rollout of the injectable drug, with implementation initially expected to have begun in January 2026. At first, 52,000 doses have already been arrived in Nigeria, while nearly 180,000 doses are projected to arrive by 2028. The first phase would cover 8 states, including Anambra, Ebonyi, Kwara, Akwa Ibom, Cross River, and Benue State, as well as the Federal Capital Territory. Nigeria currently has the second largest HIV burden in the world, with an estimated 1.9 million people living with the disease. Although treatment outcomes have improved significantly, prevention remains a major concern. Recent figures show that 93% of people living with HIV know their status, 99% of those diagnosed are on treatment, and 95% have achieved viral suppression. However, the country still records about 48,000 new infections each year. Meanwhile, the federal government says it is stepping up domestic funding for HIV, tuberculosis, and malaria programs, with a commitment of $346 million in 2026. Ogie Ihimekme, Abuja.
The federal government has apologized to Nigerians for the power outages and has promised improvements across the country in the coming days. Minister of Power Adebayo Adelabu made the promise during a press conference on his achievements in the gas supply shortfalls by generation companies to demand to gas suppliers. He hinted that the current war in the Middle East further worsened the problems. Nigerians have experienced power outages in recent weeks, leading to calls on authorities to address the issue. The country's power sector relies on gas-fired plants, but they have continued to face disruptions largely due to inadequate gas supply, pipeline maintenance issues, aging infrastructure, and liquidity constraints. 650 stranded Nigerian migrants have returned home after enduring years of hardship in Niger Republic. They arrived at the Aminu Kano International Airport, where officials of the National Emergency Aid Management Agency received them. But as these returnees reunite with their homeland, a pressing question remains: how many more Nigerians are still out there, trapped in dangerous migration routes?
The returnees, mostly women and children, arrived appearing visibly distressed and exhausted from their ordeal. Among them is Kamalu Abdullahi, who lived in Niamey for 12 years before escalating violence forced him to flee.
3 months ago, while I was sleeping, I overheard my Nigerian neighbors shouting, "Fire!" My neighbor's apartment was already set on fire.
The group consists of 292 males and 416 females originating from various states, including Katsina, Kano, Jigawa, and Borno. Addressing the press, the Kano field coordinator for the National Commission for Refugees, Luba Liman, described the evacuation as a unified government effort to rescue citizens from precarious situations abroad.
Deportees, they are returnees, stranded migrant returnees. They were being evacuated from Niamey, the Republic of Niger, by the federal government so that they will come back to the country. The total number of these migrants, as we are seeing, they are over 650.
Official figure we received from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, there are about 650 individuals. All the stakeholders are on ground to receive them, and we receive them. We provided food for them. We are going to provide shelter, and tomorrow morning, inshallah, then we can dispatch.
The latest repatriation serves as a grim reminder of the risk of irregular migration. While these 650 have made it home, many others continue to face life-threatening dangers in the Sahara Desert and the Mediterranean Sea in search of greener pastures.
Tension escalated in a community within Aso District, Mararaba, in Nasarawa State, following a violent clash reportedly involving suspected Fulani herdsmen. The affected area, located behind Melvino Garden along Shark Corner Road, is under attack. Residents are stranded as the conflict began after some community members resisted attempts by herders to allow cattle to graze on and destroy their farmlands. The disagreement reportedly escalated into a confrontation, leading to violence in the area. As of the time of this report, details on casualties or the extent of damage remain unclear, while residents are calling on security agencies to urgently intervene and restore calm. You are listening to the News Desk on Ray Power 100.5 FM. In the news, Nigeria to roll out new long-acting HIV prevention injection to curb infections, improve treatment outcomes. Federal government apologizes to Nigerians over power outages, promises improvement in the coming days. And still to come, Ghana pushes UN resolution to recognize slave trade as crime against humanity. And Iran says the United States is negotiating with itself amid rising tensions. Plus business, entertainment, sports, and weather. Do stay with us.
As the news drops, it breaks with us. Join us for news on the hour every hour. News Desk at 12 noon, Metro News at 4 p.m. Enjoy infotainment, breaking and sports news at their best 24/7.
This is Ray Power FM News.
And now the rest of the news. Ghana is intensifying its diplomatic campaign at the United Nations, combining cultural expression and political advocacy to push for global recognition of the transatlantic slave trade as the greatest crime against humanity. Speaking in New York, the president, John Mahama, emphasized that the legacy of slavery is rooted in the systematic dehumanization of Africans, shaping inequalities that persist today. His remarks come during a high-level meeting focused on reparatory justice. Ghana has formally submitted a draft resolution to the United Nations General Assembly, aiming to reframe international understanding of the slave trade and its long-term consequences. Tensions between Iran and the United States are escalating, with a spokesman for Iran's military saying Washington is negotiating with itself and insisting Tehran will not come to terms under pressure. This comes after U.S. President Donald Trump claimed that Iran is eager to strike a deal, describing recent developments as a very big present for the United States. Reports indicate that Washington has proposed a 15-point peace plan. The proposal reportedly includes Iran dismantling its nuclear facilities in exchange for the lifting of economic sanctions.
And now a business update from Ray Power 100 FM.
Meta, the parent company of Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and Threads, has been ordered to pay $375 million after a jury found it violated consumer protection laws by misleading users about the safety of its platforms and enabling child sexual exploitation. The verdict was delivered in New Mexico, marking the first time a jury has ruled against the company on such claims.
This is entertainment news on Ray Power 100.5 FM.
Self-acclaimed relationship expert Blessing CEO has revealed she is currently battling stage 4 cancer, stunning her millions of followers. In a video, a tearful Blessing admitted she is tired of being strong as she feels her health is slipping away. The influencer has opened up a direct line for words of affirmation, asking Nigerians to stand by her in her darkest hour.
Ray Power Sport.
Bayer Leverkusen have announced that Nathan Teller has extended his contract with the club until 2031, showing their long-term commitment to the winger despite an injury-affected campaign. The 26-year-old, who joined the Bundesliga side from Southampton in 2023, had initially been contracted until 2028, but has now agreed fresh terms that will keep him at the club for an additional 3 years.
Ray Power weather.
The weather this afternoon across Nigeria will be generally hot with sunshine and slight haze across the northern regions. At the same time, the central belt will see increasing cloud cover with a chance of isolated thunderstorms developing later in the day. Southern areas are likely to experience cloudy skies with scattered temperatures, showers, and possible rainfall. Please stay hydrated and watch for sudden weather changes. And now the last line. A popular quote says, "True leadership is not measured by words spoken, but by lives changed." And that's it for the news desk, as produced by Kedonojo Okoliko. I am Chukwuyenum Onwuka. You can now watch us online and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Ray Power Abuja. News on the hour comes up at 1 p.m. Good afternoon.
In 360 degrees of information and entertainment. Reloaded for today's Niger.
Ray Power.